Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be sitting down and just having a little bit of like a chit chat all about the first trimester. As you guys know, I am pregnant with our double rainbow baby. We are very blessed and very excited to be. Before we jump right into that video, I do want to take a moment to thank the sponsor for today's video and also to share with you a product that I have been using this entire first trimester. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the brand Ritual. They are a company that does a great job of supplying a variety of different vitamins. But what you may not know is they actually make a specific product that is tailored to pregnancy and postpartum. During the first trimester, I struggled hard with food aversions. I was lucky enough to not get too nauseous, but it was very difficult for me to figure out what I wanted to eat, and I found myself really lacking protein. So I went on a search for a protein that had adequate amount of amino acids and choline, and that was supportive of pregnancy and postpartum, and I found Rituals. And this right here is the shake. This is Rituals Essential Protein. It's a daily shake for pregnancy and postpartum, and it's always been very important for Ritual to have vegan products. So this is a fully plant-based protein. What sets their protein apart from other proteins is that it has a complete amino acid profile. It's sugar-free, free of soy, gluten, and major allergens. It's vegan friendly. There's no artificial flavors. It's non-GMO, and it's also third-party tested. It's also delicious as well. It sort of reminds me of like vanilla cake batter, I would say. So I would either drink it straight just like this, nice and cold, or I also would put it into a smoothie. That was really great. I'd also add milk to it and some ice, and it sort of tasted like a milkshake. Ritual's Essential Protein Daily Shake is something that I added to my diet when I felt like my diet was lacking the things that I needed in early pregnancy. If you would like to give Ritual a try, I have a promotion for you. You can get 10% off your first 3 months by using the code that you see on your screen here. You can also go into the description box below, click on the link there, and use the code as well. Once again, thank you to Ritual for sponsoring today's video, and more importantly, thank you to all of you for always being here and supporting our channel in all the ways that you do. Now let's talk about the first trimester. So I'm going to be looking at my phone often because I want to make sure that I give you the exact dates of when things happened. So on September 23rd, it was the cycle day 1 for me. I got my period, and I had my period for 5 days until the 27th. We were intimate on the 30th of September, the 2nd of October. On the 3rd of October, I had an empty smiley face on my OPK. On the 4th of October, I had a blinking smiley face. On the 5th, I had a smiley face plus a positive OPK at 8:30 a.m. On the day that we had gotten our positive OPK on our surge, we were intimate then. Then that would make the 6th of October ovulation day. That was cycle day 14 was when I ovulated. So right smack in the middle of my cycle. In our fertile window, that was it. We only baby danced twice, on peak day and on ovulation day. On 3-DPO on the 9th, that's when I started taking oral progesterone again. It's my 2nd cycle taking it, and I believe it was 200 milligrams. On 10-DPO, I got my first very, very faint positive pregnancy test. 11-DPO, I think it was also like very faint, but not that much darker. On 12-DPO, I had gotten a positive first response test, a positive clear blue line test, a positive cheapie, and also a positive first response digital. So at 12-DPO, that was my first official like yes to pregnancy digital. On 13-DPO, I got a positive clear blue digital. I also had my HCG betas drawn along with progesterone. My progesterone was like 13.4, I believe, around there, but my HCG was only 12. 13-DPO, it was 12. And I had just gotten a positive clear blue digital about an hour and a half before that, and a little concerning for me. 48 hours later, I got another beta draw, and that was 46.5. So to double, it would have had to have been 24, and it actually ended up being 46.5. So my HCG numbers were like very close to almost quadrupling. So that was really great. We were heading into the weekend, so I wasn't able to get another 48-hour draw, but I did get a 96-hour draw. and my HCG should have been 186, and it actually ended up being 213. So more than doubling over time. 48 hours after that, I got another HCG draw, and it should have been 372. It actually ended up being 464. So things started to really seem to be progressing nicely. Also, I had been getting my progesterone checked along with these, and monitoring that very closely, and everything was increasing like as it should. At around 6 weeks, 5 days pregnant, I believe, I got an ultrasound done, and we were able to see the baby. It was an intrauterine pregnancy, and we were also able to see the heartbeat of the baby. I don't remember the exact number, but I do believe it was around like 118 or 120. It was pretty low, but she had said that like it was, I think it was 117 actually. The ultrasound technician had said the baby was measuring at like 6 weeks, 3 days, very small, and almost like it was an abdominal ultrasound as well. And so we really were able to see like the bare minimum of what you could basically see at that gestation. And then I had one about a week later, and the heart rate had bumped up to about like 150-ish, I believe it was. And then the baby just looked like much bigger, and the baby was perfectly fine. Everything was great. I started to feel pretty crummy around, I believe, like the 5-week mark. It really wasn't a lot of morning sickness, although I was very nauseous at times. It was more so fatigue, like hit you like a ton of bricks, couldn't keep my eyes open, absolutely exhausted. We did end up getting the norovirus, and we were so sick for a while. And like, oh my goodness, it was just bad. It was bad. That was the most sick I had gotten ever in my life, but also during pregnancies. And yeah, that was just really brutal. Also, I feel like another symptom that I've had this whole time is I felt incredibly thirsty. It just seemed like I was not doing a good job of staying hydrated, and after getting so sick for so long, and really struggling to like keep fluids down, I just felt like I could never catch up with my hydration. So that was another like serious symptom that I was experiencing. Something really scary that happened during the first trimester was at 10 weeks, it was actually the night before we were going to announce to the world that we were expecting our double rainbow baby. I had on leggings, was walking up the stairs, and I felt sort of like wetness between my legs, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, that's like too wet almost. Like, and obviously I didn't pee myself, so I was like, what's going on? And I kind of just like brushed my hand over there, and I looked, and my hand was just covered in blood. And I was like, I don't even know. It's so hard when you've had losses. I feel like I've gotten to the point where I don't get shocked anymore by things. Like, I think I was in shock, but I don't have like that normal response. Like, I have a trauma response to it. I just completely shut down. I was angry. I was upset. I was very like matter of fact about it. Dan was really nervous and concerned and upset, and I was kind of just like, well, gonna go through this again. Like, great, I get to have a miscarriage at 10 weeks now. Like, at 5 weeks wasn't enough, at 7 weeks wasn't enough. Seeing pregnancy tests be positive, and then a few days later they're not. Like, I guess I haven't been through enough, and so now I have to have a baby taken away from me just when I felt comfortable enough to finally share it with the world. And I just was angry and heartbroken, and being very protective, and creating just like a barrier between me and those feelings and those experiences. I don't know, but it was very strange because I had no cramping. It was just, seemed like it was just a ton of blood, like just a lot, right? I went to the bathroom, it was just a lot, and that was it. Every time I went back to the bathroom, petrified to wipe, I would wipe, and there wouldn't even be like a tinge on the toilet paper. It was like nothing. It wasn't brown. It was nothing. There was nothing there. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, I went to the bathroom that one time, I changed my clothes that one time, I cleaned up that one time, and then it was like it never happened. And it stayed that way for forever. But during those like the moments after, I was just waiting for the cramps to start. You know, you just wait for the miscarriage to actually happen. And it really sucked. There's no other way to describe it. Luckily, I was able to get into an ultrasound that next morning. It was very traumatizing, honestly. I have a lot of emotions and trauma around an ultrasound. I had to go and have an ultrasound without the person being allowed to say a single word to me, basically, about what they were seeing, and it was terrible. So when I went to this ultrasound, I was really nervous. I was very upfront about what was going on. She puts the ultrasound, the like wand on my belly. I see the baby. The last time I had the ultrasound was back at 7 weeks-ish, and 10 weeks, baby was huge in comparison, like little arms, everything. And I instantly was able to tell that the baby was wiggling and moving around, and she said, everything is good. The second that she had confirmation, she wasted no time. She said, everything is good. The baby's fine. There's a heartbeat. Yeah, everything seemed fine, and the baby was waving at me. It was the cutest thing. She was like, I just want to let you know your baby's actually waving at you right now. And it was. It's like a little nub, little like 10-week nub was waving. So around 11 weeks, I actually started to wean off of progesterone. I needed to know that there would be a birthing center that would be okay with still having me be a patient if I was to have ICP again. While I was checking my progesterone, personally, I was able to also get a bile acid test done. And so I checked my bile acids because I was kind of interested to see like where my numbers were. My results came back at a 12. Anything over 10 is diagnosable. So like, I already have been diagnosed with ICP. I spoke with my midwife in Connecticut who had my current like care and who was like overseeing my care for the pregnancy if anything was to like go wrong or whatnot. They also held my prescription for progesterone and was like doing all of that. But I had also spoken to the midwife in Fort Worth. I was able to send them the results of like the Quest testing, as well as to my midwife in Connecticut. They both confirmed the diagnosis of ICP. So I have already officially been diagnosed with ICP this pregnancy. I just had yesterday an appointment with my birthing center. We chatted over everything. We were talking about how I could still have a birthing center birth even with ICP, and that they can even do an induction in the birthing center, which is like cool. So having said all that, that is going to be the plan, but I will talk more about that in like the second trimester and third trimester videos, because really it's up in the air right now. We could go the entire pregnancy and I could never have numbers that are diagnosable again, and even though I still will be diagnosed with ICP, that would allow us to sort of take on the new protocol that came out in January 2020 with ICP, which is that if your numbers stay below 40, you can actually go further into the pregnancy without having the induction for it be 36 weeks to 37 weeks. None of that makes any difference now, so I won't bore you with more details on that. But it is important to note that I do in fact have ICP already during this pregnancy, and that's going to be part of this story. One last thing that I want to talk to you about before I end this video is that we did, after having the ICP diagnosis, we did decide to find out what the sex of the baby is. So I was like, you know what? With this diagnosis, I know that there's going to be so many unknowns. I just want to know now. So we ended up finding out the sex of the baby, and we just knew it. Like, it's a boy. It is 100% a boy. We did the sneak peek, but then we also had a confirmation ultrasound. Now, granted, it was at like 13 weeks and like 4-ish days, so who knows, things could still change, but I doubt it. I feel like having the ultrasound and seeing the parts and then also having the sneak peek come back as being a boy, it's always possible that it could be wrong, but I just don't feel like it is. So this is a little boy. So we're going to have a boy, girl, boy, boy. Sawyer and this baby are going to be only 20 months apart. I love that. I love that. I was so excited to have Willa and to have a baby girl, but I was also okay with her being a boy because I loved the idea of Cooper and another baby boy to be so close in age. So it's almost like God gave me both scenarios that I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have a daughter, but I've always also wanted to have two of the same gender together, close in age. And so it just seems like it's just a gift. But that is it for my first trimester update. Please let me know if you have any questions and I will answer them down below. And yeah, like I said, I'm 15 weeks. I'm feeling really great. I feel good. I have all of my energy back. I think I haven't been working out this entire pregnancy just because I've been so on eggshells, just like nervous. And I think now heading into the second trimester, or already in the second trimester, I think I'm going to start to work out. Now that we have a garage, we're going to be getting some like Olympic weightlifting equipment, some CrossFit equipment. And I think instead of going to a CrossFit box and sort of like pushing myself there, I think I'm going to continue doing the workouts that I've been doing on Open Fit, and then also doing some sort of like lifting and stuff like that, light lifting this pregnancy. So that's my plan, but I will let you know more about how that's going in my second trimester video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always supporting our channel. Don't forget that if you want to go and check out Ritual and you want to give them a try, you can get 10% off by using the code. And yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Wait, hold on. I feel like I cannot end this video without showing you my bump. Like, what am I even doing?
I know you've heard it all before, but you are the love of my life. I knew when you came through the door that you are the love of my life.